Well, money matters, or money matters. We're talking about a big project. We're talking about building a web operating system by porting a lot of existing free software programs, multimedia programs, from OpenOffice, Inkscape, to OpenMovie Editor, FontForge, all these things, porting these to a web operating system. Technically, the level of technical changes needed to each of these projects is pretty small, is pretty modest, but there's a great deal of work across a great many projects, and all of the work that's needed is outside of the established trajectory of each of these projects. So a question arises, how do we organize labor to accomplish those technical changes? Who do we get to make patches and so forth? One sort of theory, idea, practice about how to do this is through incitement. We go and try and get good press. We try and spread the idea. We evangelize. We seek out volunteers to go and make these changes to each of these projects. The investment horizon for these changes is a little bit long. There's no immediate gratification. There's no instantaneous reason why anyone should volunteer to do this for selfish reasons. Someone can add these features to Inkscape, but in and of itself that doesn't really make that much of an improvement until it's added to 20 other programs and until the server side is worked upon. So incitement, the usual way of getting new things done in the open source world, I think is not the right approach. And what we want to try in this project is to develop a budget, to find large firms that have strategic interests in investing in this kind of work, and from them create a modest budget where that budget is then spent to go and hire on spot markets, on things like Craigslist, programmers to go and actually prepare patches for these programs. Of course, we want to favor people who are already involved in these projects, and of course we want to find people who are familiar with those source code bases already, but the point being that we'd like to attempt, as an experiment, the idea of running this open source cross-cutting project, a project that touches on many, many other projects, on a monetary basis, on a professional basis, and see how that goes. Our hypothesis is that this can actually be quite affordable, especially, unfortunately, in today's market, that the results will actually be quite good, and that this is simply a pleasant and appropriate way to work. So we'd like to try that experiment, and let's see what happens.